I pulled over to a phone booth, and I had Jeff's number scrawled down on some eyeliner somewhere, and pulled. And I was like, okay, I'm in Hollywood. I think I should call these guys. Maybe we could get together and meet, And because I'm only here for whatever till a couple hours, I got to take the car back. And so I called, and it was like, oh yeah, oh hey, which one were you? Like he was a little bit confused, like he'd probably gotten a lot of calls or a few calls, and I go, yeah, I'm just down the street, man. I could come over. I'll probably be there in 10 minutes. He's like, oh, what do you look like again? How long is your hair? What? And he was like trying to like filter the idiots out, and the posers and the not cool rockers out. And he goes, okay, well, yeah, we're here. I guess, can you come over in like a half hour? And he told me where they lived, and he goes, okay, you go on Sunset, and then you'll see the Coconut Teaser and the liquor locker there, which is a liquor store, literally on the corner, about 100 yards from their little place they live. You drive up there, and then for about half a block north of Sunset, you'll see this sign that's a one-way street, and a sign that says "Do not enter." Enter. When you see that sign, enter. And we live right there. And I was like, okay, well, that's kind of fancy pants. Like, these guys have a nice pad, because that's like getting into Hollywood Hills,
Okay.
real estate, big houses, and I don't know if you heard of the Coconut Teaser.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
It was before. It was always there. It was like this bar / barbecue restaurant that was always right on a big corner of Sunset and Laurel Canyon Boulevard, and really prime real estate. It's like a super fancy dance club now, but it wasn't really back then. It was just basically a bar. It wasn't really known as a rock club yet, but that's just where they live. And so I pull up on this road, and there's this little, it looked like a kind of a tool shed. Like, it was like the sort of garage where, like, from the big house, that was whoever they were renting this room from lived in a big kind of house up the road a bit, and then this little one door, and there was like this place, like literally like a place where you would have kept your bicycles or something if you had a nice big house, or pool house almost, but really small, and maybe had a bathroom, I guess, and enough for like 2 cots, and that was it. And so I pulled up in my car, and this is his door, like right on the street, like no lawn, no yard, no nothing, just this door open. And I see Jeff, Izzy, and I go, oh, that's that guy. I'd seen him a bunch around town over the last few years.
Okay.
Just driving around, I'd see him at clubs, I'd see him walking down the street, and he'd seen me as well, and there'd kind of be like this weird little head turn, like no one ever said anything because it wasn't cool, but like, that guy looks weird. He looks wrong. He looks really cool, but he's always in this kind of wrong place. And he has this pink leather jacket and his, Nikki Sixx hair, and but he'd be like in some kind of nice part of town with like places where those people wouldn't hang out. I even saw him at a Judas Priest concert at Long Beach Arena once, like in this huge crowd of thousands of people, like point of entry tour or something like that. All these people spilling out, and the one person that I just caught my eye was Izzy, out of these millions of people. And so anyway, I was like, that's that guy. Okay, now it's all making sense. I wonder who this singer is. And so he's like, oh, hey, yeah, come on in. And their room wasn't much bigger than the car I was in. And it was just him, and there was somebody else there that I don't remember who it was. It wasn't someone in the band. It was just a friend, maybe a chick. And it's like, hey, quiet, soft-spoken Izzy. And well, yeah, hey, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. You got any tapes, and I'll play some stuff that we've done, we've been working on. Just, they had these little tapes and Ghetto Blaster, like boombox, cassette, a portable cassette player, and just with built-in mic, you'd sit there and put the guitar amp 2 feet away, and the singer would get close and try to record little ideas. And so they just kind of had that, and he played me some ideas, and it was literally just him and A.X.L, like Cold Hard Cash, and Shadow of Your Love and stuff like that. And then they had done that demo with Chris Webber before that, which had, Johnny Christ and those guys on it at Mystic Studios. So it was like, he goes, yeah, this is the stuff we'd been doing. This was like, a little while ago. We're kind of not, it's an idea that you could tell what we're up to, but we're sort of going in a different direction than that, And there's still no A.X.L. And then out of the bathroom, which was like just, 10 feet away, the other side of the house, the door opens and this guy comes out, with like a rock, 3/4 length rock jersey on that was like shredded and tied back together and real quiet. And like, hey, how's it going? And he wasn't like, he was just very quiet and reserved. And Izzy was doing all the talking and all the action and stuff. And, it's like, hey.
Okay.
And listening to this stuff and going, yeah, okay, this is pretty cool. I like this. This is way like, it was not what I was expecting. It was cooler,
It sounds like nothing was what you were expecting.
No, and like the way that their tapes, their demos on the boombox were just so raw. I mean, it was more punk rock than any of the shit that I'd been hearing, but with A.X.L singing. So it was like,
what did you think of his voice at that time?
I listened and I was like, damn, because it was all he had, like all he used anyways was like one section of his range at that point. It was just all the time. It was just on 11 all the time. There was no Mr. Brownstone voice or ballad voice, or it was just, scream. And I was like, after about the third song, I looked over to him. He still wasn't really saying much, And I go, do you like Nazareth by any chance? And he looked at me and kind of like, goes, yeah. I like that a lot. And I was like, right on. That's awesome. Because no one really sings like that, like anymore. Like at that point, there weren't. It was just the real, like, kind of David Lee Roth voice, or like, operatic metal voice, and nothing much in between. And so I was like, yeah, well, shit, this is crazy. This is cool. And he's like, well, yeah, we'll we hung out and we just shot the shit, and it was kind of comfortable. Like we got along, I think. And we hung out, and then I had to go, and because we'll be in touch. We got this going on. We got this going on. We just got to find the right people. We just, not really happy with the situation we got now. And I don't even know how long they stayed in that room that they were renting, but probably by the next time that I talked to them, they were already moved out. Maybe a little after that. But so anyways, I started getting these more frequent calls from Izzy, like sometimes before I'd wake up, sometimes in the middle of the night.
Okay.
And my mom got a little bit perturbed. Like, answer the phone, because I lived in the garage behind the house, and she'd have to come out and get me, and blah blah blah. Telephone, 10 minutes later I'd come in. Hello. It's like, hey, yeah, so can you get out here? We got this, if we can rehearse and get these songs down, I can get this gig opening for a friend of mine's band. And then that didn't happen. And then there was this crazy, he had a friend, he always had a scheme. He always had a plan. He always had things going on, stuff going on.
Okay.
Even back then. And there was somebody in Finland that had some sort of Hanoi Rocks connection. Like, I didn't even know what the connection was, if he just maybe knew them or was from Finland, so it was enough of a connection.
Okay.
But he was like a guy that was trying to get, like a promoter type guy. Like, there's always those guys that are like, yeah, man, get your shit together and come on over here, and I can make sure you have like the best gigs. And and so Izzy had, I guess, been carrying on these late night conversations with this guy, on the phone, like talking to this guy. I forget his name. He had a funny name, and was like, we got to do this, man. We got to get shit together and get a band together and just fucking go over there. They'll pay for it, and they'll, be on
to go to Finland.
Yeah. And I was like, well, okay, sure.